I'm James, the Exec Function Coach. And today I want to talk to you about what it takes to become a better learner. Because let's be honest here, smart kids get bad grades all the time. And the question that parents and teachers and even students themselves ask is, why? In my experience, a lot of times the answer is academic skills. Kids often lack the executive function skills that they need to be successful students. These skills include organization, time management, prioritization, planning, and a lot of kids have been able to figure it out for themselves. But some kids need a little more help than that. And those are the kids that we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be sharing with you, parents, how you can help your kids develop the pro-academic skills that will lead into getting better results in school. Because let's be honest, a lot of the time, parents know that they want to help, but they don't know how to go about doing that. And their time and their effort doesn't produce the results that they were hoping for. So what I want to do today is share with you 5 components of any plan to teach your kid new academic skills. Those 5 components include tools, strategies, accountability, flexibility, and patience. Building academic skills follows a very predictable path. You use strategies and tools to change how you're doing things. You use those strategies and tools effectively and consistently. And over time, those tools and strategies become habits that become second nature and result in better grades. So let's talk about these components right now. Tools are the first and one of the most important things on this list. Tools are the how-to in building academic skills. These are the instructions that a student can follow step by step in order to develop the skills that they don't already have. Tools include things like planners, daily checklists, weekly schedules, and other things that can help scaffold the skills that they need to learn. Think of a paint by numbers kind of assignment. As long as you're following the boxes and putting the right color in the right spot, at the end you have a beautiful picture. You don't need any artistic talent in order to be able to create a wonderful creation. All you gotta do is follow the step-by-step instructions. Tools are the things that we can give to kids to walk them through the skills that they don't have yet. The best tools are foolproof. Anyone can read them and follow the instructions and get the results that you were looking for. The second component is strategies. And tools and strategies are related because they are both about doing things differently. Tools walk kids through the steps that they need to take in order to get something done. Strategies are more about the approach they take when they run into difficult situations. Strategies involve taking a look at what your current approach is, figuring out what's working, what's not working, and then making adjustments so that in the future, you can have a higher likelihood of success. You can have strategies to help with organization, to help with reading, to help with writing, to help with time management. Really anything that can be challenging for a kid, there's a strategy that they can employ to make their life a little bit easier. An example of an organization strategy would be going through a weekly backpack clean out, taking out your backpack and making sure that all of the papers in the backpack are where they belong. An example of time management strategy would be the Pomodoro technique, where you're working for 20 minutes on and about 5 minutes off. Repeat until all the homework is done. Kids tend to be very unstrategic about how they go about things like keeping track of what their homework was, things like organizing their binders or their backpacks, things like figuring out what time they need to get started on their homework in order to finish before dinner time. Oftentimes, kids will need adults to help them walk through the strategy process. We'll do more videos about the problem-solving process, and how you can help your kid develop a strategic approach to a particular kind of problem. But the main idea here is that your child needs to know that if their current approach isn't working, they need to learn how to develop strategies so that they can approach that same task in a way that will increase their likelihood of being effective. But tools and strategies can only be effective if they're used correctly. And that's why our third point is so important. Accountability is the systems that help your kids to effectively and consistently use their tools and strategies. If they have tools and they have strategies, but they're not being used correctly, then they're not going to help the kid to perform differently. So for example, if your kid has this great planner system, but then doesn't actually write down his homework on a regular basis, you're not going to get the results that you otherwise would have if your child was using the strategy effectively. Accountability really needs to have two main parts. You need to make sure that the tools and strategies are used effectively, and you need to make sure that they are used consistently. Kids are often pretty good at using a new tool or a strategy for about a week or two. Then they really drop off. That's where the accountability is really important. They need to know that the adults in their lives care about them using these tools and strategies effectively. And if you find out in your accountability checks that the tools and strategies aren't having the kinds of results that you were hoping for, that's a really good time to make the adjustments that your child will need. That leads us to our fourth component, which is flexibility. Flexibility is really important because the world is not predictable. Neither is your child. So the strategies and tools that might work for Timmy down the street probably won't work for your child. You need to make sure that the tools and strategies that you're selecting to help your child develop the skills they need are tailor-made to suit their purposes. It needs to help the child in the moment that they need it. Also, you want to plan for life's unpredictability. Things happen, and if your plan will only work if life is going just the way that it needed to, then you have a plan that's destined to fail. For every strategy, for every tool, for every accountability system, make sure that you have a contingency plan. Just in case the conditions aren't perfect, there's still an expectation for something to get done. So for example, if you're not able to check the planner every night at the same time, build in a secondary catch-all time so that if you don't get home at 6:30 to check that planner, 8:30 is your secondary time, so you can still check the planner. It's just not at the exact time that you had originally planned. Building in flexibility is a good way to make sure that one, your kid uses the strategies and tools more often, but two, communicates to them that even when things aren't going our way, we're still going to find a way to engage in the tools and the strategies that are going to be helpful in developing new skills. Finally, you're going to need a lot of patience. Learning new skills takes a long time. Kids often expect that they're going to go to bed, wake up the next morning, and they're going to have the new strategies and tools down pat. But the fact of the matter is, every day you're likely to see a little improvement, but over time, you're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days. And hopefully, the general trend is towards building those academic skills and habits. And we need to understand that we need to practice these new skills consistently in order for them to become habits. Just because you've had 1 week of 100% success doesn't mean that the next week you're also going to see 100% success. Make sure that the accountability systems that you've built in are sustainable over a long period of time, because you want to make sure that you're building lifelong habits. Not something that your child is going to do for about 2 weeks and then drop off. Oftentimes, kids are really unrealistic with their expectations. They are looking for a quick fix and they get discouraged when they see that it's not going to be something that they can just turn on. You as a parent can model reasonable expectations for the time frame that this work is going to take. Focus on the progress that's made on a continuing basis. And you can help encourage them to continue to do the work that might be challenging or frustrating for them. Because you need to be the ones to point out, listen, it's working. It's working slowly. You're doing a good job. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to take a while, but we'll get there, one step at a time. These have been the 5 components of any effective plan to build academic skills into habits. Tools, strategies, accountability, flexibility, and patience. I hope that you learned something today, and in my next videos, I'm going to do more of a deep dive into the tools and the strategies. I'm hoping to share some really specific things that you can do. But go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or things that you want to learn more about, leave me a comment below and I'll address it in my next video. All right. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day. Bye.